Hi folks, I'm the Lost Mapper, and today we're doing 30-day map challenge day 10, North America, and I'm trying to do this live. Hopefully this will result in a video as good as I make on the Mac. Today I'm on Windows, but most everything should be the same except for a few shortcuts. So I actually, when I was prepping for this, I wasn't entirely sure what made up North America. And I ended up at the Wikipedia page and saw this neat little map. Did not know that Greenland was considered part of North America, at least in its, I don't know how it's categorized. But I see it goes from Greenland and Alaska all the way down right to, I guess that's probably north of the Panama Canal. I'm not entirely sure. Um, so I figured we would start by going to Natural Earth, getting some data. Um, and I'm going to grab the cultural data for countries. And I believe this has a column that will allow us to see what continent it's part of. So let's copy that folder. I guess on Windows, I need to unzip it. Where's the extract? There we go. Sure. All right. And then I'm going to move that into my project folder and head back to QGIS. And I'm going to remove this. I don't want it. And let's open up our project home and dip into this shape file. Okay. And let's see. Let's open up the attribute table. I'm actually curious if I go to view panels. Well, let me just, I'm going to hit F6 and see if it does the same thing. It does. Okay. F6 does open it up. And there are a bunch of columns in here. I'm going to use organized columns to only grab a few that I want. I'm going to deselect all, and then I'm going to grab the sovereignty, the type. I'm not sure what admin is. I'm going to get name and name long. And then somewhere down here, we got continent, region, I guess for the United Nations, subregion, and I don't know what region WB is. I think that's good enough for now. Cool. And yeah, so if we head to continent, we can see that we've got North America in here and South America a little bit further down. Okay, so let's filter this based on the continent. So we'll head to our layer, right click and choose filter. And we'll head down to continent. Cool. Double click that, add in an equals, and then choose North America, click test. 42 rows, the magic number, and we'll hit OK on that. And let's just zoom to this layer now, which is just these. And I think I'm going to actually change the coordinate reference system. So down here in the bottom right, going to click on that. And let's look for North America. And nothing's coming up. Huh. That's not how it worked on my Mac. Oh, is that because these are not open? Let's see here. That would be kind of a weird. Okay. No. What am I? Interesting. I'm actually going to peek on my Mac to see what I had used. And I'd be curious to know why it's not listed here. I wonder. All right. So I was using North America, Albers equal area conic. I wonder if this is okay. Interestingly enough, the search on the Mac, if I search for North America without an underscore, it finds the ones that have underscores in them. And if I search for North America without underscores on Windows, I'm not getting that result. I am running a slightly different version of QGIS. This is 3.34, and on the Mac it's 3.32. So I'm not entirely sure if that's involved. Let's pick this one and see what it looks like. And I'm just gonna go with the default transformation suggestion. Did not mean to click on that. I'm thinking at the zoom level that we're at, the accuracy of 4 meters does not matter. Okay, so that looks pretty cool. I think the other thing we'll do is we'll head back to natural earth, and under physical, I think it's under small scale, the graticules, and I'm gonna go with 10 degrees, and we will copy that over. We'll extract it here. I'm gonna say no to that, and then I can just copy the folder over. And then we'll head back to QGIS, and let's add those in. Okay, so that lets us see the long lines that we are associated with. Okay, and then what I'd like to do is, if we look at this data again, no, not the graticules, the countries. There are different countries types. So there are countries, and there are dependencies, and there are sovereign countries. And I'm kind of curious, the ones that are not countries, what does that look like? So if I filter this, and I'm going to say sovereignties, oops. So I want both, let me undo this. I want continent of North America and sovereignties where, nope. Oh no, wait, it wasn't sovereignty. It was, I'm going to escape out and look again because I already forgot. Type. Okay. It is type. Let's filter again, and we'll say and type. Type is not equal to a country. Test that out, and now we've got 37. So we had 42 before, and now we have 37. We've got Canada in there. Interesting. So when I was playing around, I was actually kind of getting curious about all the islands down here and who they belong to. Not just the name of the island, but the sovereignty of it. So I wonder if there is a way to not have Canada, Mexico, and these other ones. I wonder what their, let's see. Sovereign country, sovereign country. Oh, is that all one thing? Or did I? What are all these? These are sovereignties, sovereign country. Maybe what I'll do is just select the ones that I'm interested in. So if I come down here and I'm going to use the feature selection tool and then just select these. Oh, it looks like I got part of. Let's see, can I shift click? Yeah, unselect that. What is that? Maybe that's Honduras. Oh, I guess there's a little island here that's part of Honduras. All right, I'm going to I don't care about this. Okay. So now that I have just these selected, I am actually going to export the selected features. I'm going to export them as a geo package, and the file name will be inside of the project. I'm going to call this North American Islands. Actually, I'm just going to call it North America, because that's the name of the whole file, and then the layer itself will just be North American Islands. Okay. And then what I'll do is I'm going to go back to this one and shut off the filter. Okay. And then I'm going to make them a grayish color. So in the symbology, just change this to black, and then let's make that 50%. Okay. I'm into that. And then let's dip into these islands again. And we've got 26. And what have we got for the sovereignty? All right, there's a good number there. So why don't we go into the symbology for this one? And we're going to use a categorized symbology, and we're going to use the sovereignty. And I'm going to use a color ramp of spectral, and then hit classify. There's a fair number of them. It might be hard to tell them apart. I'm going to see how that looks anyway. Kind of interesting. There's some islands here that I guess maybe belong to South America instead. I got to choose the layer. It was continent, right? Where was continent? Skip it. Continent. Europe. Those are considered Europe, part of the Europe continent. All right. I did not know that. It's quite possible that could be a data issue, but I'm just going to trust it for now. All right. And while we're here, let's change the color of the background just so we get kind of an ocean color. Make that blue. All right, cool. And I'm going to turn off the identify tool. Okay, so we've got some color in there, but it's a little bit hard to tell what things are. So why don't we add a label? So I'm going to use a single label, and I'm going to use the name long. Okay, we've got some names in there now. And oh, I put that on this one. I didn't want to put that on this one. So let's turn labels off. I put it on the wrong layer. There we go. Pick this one. Single labels. Okay. And I want to actually move these. So they're a little bit hard to read as they're sitting on the island. I kind of also wonder if we should just go back to 3857 since we're zoomed into this area. Actually, what is the coordinate reference system of this layer? 4326. All right. I always feel like let's try this. All right, that looks pretty evenly spaced and easy to see. Don't want to be there. I want to zoom to just these. Okay, that looks pretty nice. Now I'd like to move these, and I know when I use the label tool, it's going to ask me for an ID for each of these. And only because I looked at this beforehand. I know that oh, nope, there's a feature ID. Okay, I guess when I saved it as a geo package, it added a feature ID, so that's great. That solves the problem. All right, so let's try to move one of these. And it's going to say, hey, what ID should I use to assign the label position with the feature ID? So I'm going to use feature ID. And now I can move these. And let's also go in and turn on a call out on the labels. So draw a call out. Cool. Go back to the label move tool. And let's move some of these around. Okay, doke. So this is the name of them. It is not the sovereignty. And I think it would be kind of neat to show both. So I think once I know where each of these things is pointing to, who are you? Oh, you're right. I might switch which graticule we're using, since it looks like it's pointing to the graticule instead of an actual feature. All right, and Haiti, Cuba, Guantanamo Bay. Okay, so something that's a little bit weird is like where Cuba is pointing to. I don't know that this will be the final layout, but I've only been moving the labels so far, but you can also move the point near the label and the point inside of the feature. So I can actually move that to over here. Now, if I did that accidentally, which I did do during the prep for this video, what you can do is open up the attribute table and then click on Organize Columns. And if you scroll down to the bottom, actually, let's deselect all again. Let's enable feature ID, sovereignty, type, name and name long, continent, region, subregion. And then if we go all down to the bottom, we've actually got a bunch of these auxiliary storage labels. So we've got the label position, which are these two, and then you have the call out origin and destination. So those are the two where the label is and where the end up point is. I'm guessing, I don't actually know which is which, but if we also enable all of these and hit OK, now we can see those in this attribute table. And you'll see that the one that I moved, was it Cuba? Yeah. So the one that I moved, Cuba, does actually have values in there because I changed it. Let's actually dock this. And the way I can basically get rid of that point and reset it is to delete the values in there. And I think, so it doesn't update automatically, but if I move, nope. All right, another thing that didn't quite work the way that I had seen before. Let me just make sure. Strange. What if I ooh, did not mean to do that. What if I zoom in on Cuba? Huh. All right. I don't know why that's quite happening. Oh, we've got a few that I missed here. All right. Jumping around a bit. So this button here, toggle display of unplaced labels. If you click that, it's going to show you labels that don't have room. They're like, hey, I'd like to display, but based on all the other features and labels, there's no room for me. And that is helpful to basically make sure that you're labeling everything. All right. I'm not going to worry about that labeling issue with Cuba at the moment. I think I just want to get these a little bit cleaner. The other thing I'd like to do is not just show the name of the island, but show the sovereignty as well. So I'm going to go back into the label settings. And instead of just using name long, I'm going to use an expression. And I want to use the name long and then maybe underneath it in parentheses the sovereignty. So I'm going to use the concat function to add a bunch of things together. So name long and then a new line character and a parentheses and then the sovereignty and then another closing parentheses. And I can see that I've got my previews there. So let's hit OK on that and see what that looks like. Cool. And we ended up with a few that can't display itself. All right, that looks pretty good. But there are some where the country name and the sovereignty are the same. So what I'd like to do is only display the sovereignty if it's not the same as the country. So we can use an expression to do that. Let's head back here into labels and into our expression editor. And we can use an if statement. Man, I really can't stretch these windows. So let's search for if, and we'll see that there's a conditional called if, and it tests a condition and returns a different result depending on the conditional check. So if condition, and then the result when true, and then the result when false. There's some examples here. Okay, so whoops, close that out. All right, so I'm going to use if, open that up, and I'm going to say if name long is not equal to sovereignty, that's the first part, then I want to show that they're different. And then if they're the same, I'm sorry, if they are the same, yes, I just want to use name long. And I can close out that expression. So if name long is not equal to sovereignty, concatenate the name long with the sovereignty. Otherwise, just show name long. And then we can see down here in the preview, these are different. So I've got the sovereignty in parens. And if I move through these, here they're the same. So there's no parentheses. I wonder if Bahamas and the Bahamas are actually two different things. These are kind of similar. Interesting. I wonder if I should be using the name instead of name long. This means that the sovereignty is has the abbreviation, but the name long does not. What does name look like here? Interesting. All right. I mean, that's an outlier. We could always fix the data if we wanted to tweak it a bit. So let's see how that looks. We apply that change. Okay, so now we've got, so Dominican Republic just has its name. Same with Barbados and Dominica and a bunch of these other ones. Just notice that Trinidad and Tobago. Hope I'm not, no, even Grenada I missed. Hope I'm not slaughtering these names. Cool. That looks pretty nice. Yeah, let's get a different set of graticules. So let's maybe use 15 instead of 10. I guess the other thing we could do while that's downloading, I'm going to go into the symbology for the graticules and I'm going to change the opacity to 20 to 50%. See what that looks like. Oh, and I also want to make them black, but semi-transparent. Let's see what 25 looks like. And I wonder what it would look like underneath the islands. And underneath the other ones as well. Kind of feel like they should probably be on top of things. And let's see what that 15 looks like instead. Again, I'm just doing this to avoid what my high school art teacher called kissing on canvas, which is when two lines meet each other, and it ruins the illusion because an object in the background and an object in the foreground look like they're actually touching each other, which ruins the illusion of depth. All right, so let's add 15, and I'm gonna right click on 10, go to styles, copy style, all style categories, and then I'm gonna go to 15, right click, styles, paste, paste all styles, and it'll have the same kind. And I think I'm okay with that. I think that looks all right. I'm actually going to check the chat because I think somebody's actually here. No. I know I'm here on another computer just to test it. And this is also my first time doing this. Well, if you're watching, feel free to say hello in chat. And I'll try to keep an eye on it. Let me actually... I'm using OBS, which I only have one monitor for this machine, and so I can't watch chat at the same time necessarily. And I don't think there's a way to view it on another machine. I guess I'll worry about that later. Okay. Oh, look. After all that, Cuba decided to reset itself. All right. I don't know what caused that to happen, but I'm going to move it back anyway because I actually did want it up here. Okay. And I think I will spend some time cleaning up where these labels are so that they're not stepping on each other. And are a little more pleasant to look at. I guess I won't. This is probably going to look totally different in the print layout anyway, but we'll give it a go. And while we're here, why don't we fix this one? So this Bajo Nuevo, let's go to that layer. Open up the attribute table. I'm going to sort my this. And I'm going to edit this. I'm going to assume this is only done for abbreviation and is not actually a different piece of data. Save that and toggle editing off. Okay. Cool. Let's bring Cuba a little bit closer. Bahamas and the Bahamas. I wonder if those are different things. Is Bahamas and the Bahamas two different things? Actually, let me go back to the... I guess I could give in and ask one of the Bing AI things. The Bahamas. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Again, I'm not doing this for any sort of legal purposes or whatnot. Okay, Cuba, what is your deal? Why did it switch again? That's weird. Oh boy. And now I really did it. Now I moved just the point. All right, let me see if I can fix this. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to delete you and delete you. And nobody else has those. I'm going to close this. I'm going to save this. It hasn't moved yet. Why is, oh, there we go. Okay, cool. It looks like you got to move the map in order for it to know that a label was changed. A label call out position was changed. All right. I think that looks all right. Let's make a print layout. So new print layout. We'll call this landscape. We will open that up and zoom in on our map. We'll add a map. And cool, it used the same extent, so that's convenient. Make a little more room for a title. So is this considered, what is the part of the ocean that this is considered? Is this, let's add in for reference, Google. Let's start with OpenStreetMap. And what does it say? If I throw that up top, it does not list the oceans near here. Gonna remove that for now. I'm gonna head to Google Maps. Maps.google.com. I'm gonna go to Cuba and then zoom out. So is the Caribbean Sea, I never know how to say that word. Let me go learn. Pronunciation. Caribbean. Okay. Caribbean. So Caribbean Sea, Gulf of Mexico, North Atlantic Ocean. What is the extent of the Caribbean Sea? This does not make it clear to me. I'm just going to say, I'm going to call it Caribbean Sea. It seems to be all these things here. So I'm going to say, go back to my layout. Where did my layout go there? Okay, add a title. We're going to call this countries and sovereignties of the Caribbean Sea. So loosely a North America map. But again, the goal here is learning what kind of font do we want to use here? I'm going to go with this Franklin Gothic Heavy. And let's center it and put it in the middle. And then let's go back to the font and bump that up. Okay, and then we can see that unfortunately the labels don't look that great on the map. I'm first going to add an attribution and then we can go back and try to tweak that. So we've got this label and we're just going to say data comes from natural earth. And I'm going to move that to the right and to the bottom. Fun fact, I bought a QGIS mug to use on camera to take drinks and have the logo show up. But the way that my microphone and everything is set up, this is mounted on the left and the logo is on this side. So I can't show off the logo without knocking the microphone. Okay. Okay, we got our attribution in there. I'm gonna put my. I'm just gonna say the map was by me, and let's bring that font size down a little bit, and maybe squish up the map a little bit. Bring it down. Normally I throw my logo on it, but I don't have my logo on this machine. And I'm just gonna check. All right, still nothing going on chat. I'm not sure who this mysterious second viewer is. Maybe there's not actually somebody else there. Current viewers. All right, I think whoever was here was only briefly here. Probably a mistake. All right. So we want to fix up these labels. Oh, there's even some that are not showing through. All right. So the way I usually do this is I take the scale of the map from the layout, and I put it in the scale of the map view, and then I usually do 200. So does that look about the same? It actually does. The issue is that I'm gonna have to move around the map. All right, let's see if we can pull this off. So let's bring this up here. Don't want to cover up the island there. And maybe these fonts should actually be a little bit smaller. So let's go to that layer, go to the labels, and let's make the font 8. Give them a little more room. We refresh this guy. Yeah, okay. I think they're still quite legible, and we can move them around much better now. So I'm just going to place all these to make sure that they're all, oops, they all have a placement. Use the hand tool to get back over here. And let's go to our this view to see how it's looking. And let's move the anchor point for Haiti so it's not so much of a stretch. Refresh that. All right, this British Isles one is getting in the way of Puerto Rico. Bahamas could probably be a little bit closer to the Bahamas. Same with Turks and Caicos Islands. And the Guantanamo Bay is kind of squashed in there. I don't want to make it, you don't see the line at all, and I'd like it to be more apparent where it's pointing to. Okay. I think that's pretty decent. I'm going to put a frame on this. Countries and sovereignties. Let me make sure I spelled the word sovereignty correct. Sovereignties. Well, why don't I just say sovereignty, plural. Sovereignties. think I had it right. Countries and sovereignties of the Caribbean Sea. Caribbean. Oh, I've already forgotten how you say Caribbean. Caribbean. Oy vey.
Caribbean.
Caribbean. Caribbean. All right. And maybe just move up this one so it's not below that line. Now it's kind of butted up against St. Kitts. So maybe I'll move it back. And are these actually countries? Is that what these names? I mean, I guess that's the name of this. The name of this data was countries, so I'm going to go with name. All right, I think I'm going to call it there. So I'm going to save that, and we'll spit out an image. Landscape 1920. All right. Thanks for joining me. I'm hoping that this will be usable recording. And I might do another one of these on the 20th and the 30th just to have sort of markers for that. And I'll see you next time.